Good morning. It is currently 10 a.m. and for today we're going to be brainstorming and doing sketches of some handmade gifts that I'm making for friends and family. But first, we're going to go for a little morning walk.
Look at the vultures.
We are back from our little nature walk. I've already got the tablet set up and everything, so we can go ahead and start sketching. We're switching over to voiceover Nobe while I show you guys the screen recording of all the sketches I did. So I went ahead and basically made some coaster designs. I did pouches. I at some point did a drawstring bag that I ended up not working on actually. And we also did wallets and keychains. But I want to mention that we're not working on everything that you see here. We're just selecting a few that we're going to work on today. And after I was done doing all those sketches, I went ahead and wrote the details of the fabric I was going to be using, just like extra things I needed to keep in mind for the designs. After picking out some cute memo paper to write my list down, I went ahead and wrote down things that I still needed to get at the store, which included a embroidery hoop, some green pattern fabric, some blue Victorian fabric, and some felt fabric in the colors black, white, dark brown, light green, dark blue, light brown, dark green, and light yellow. List is done, so I will be right back and we'll start cutting out the templates. I think this one is the most tedious out of all the ones I gotta cut out right now. And I think I still have to cut out these little parts of the face because I gotta trace that and embroider that part individually, so that's gonna be a little difficult cutting those little pieces, but I think we can do it. You know, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I don't need to cut out those parts individually. If I was working with the felt like I'm gonna do for the other wallets, I am gonna have to cut those individually. I just think my brain hurts, okay? Like, I'm trying to plan out a lot of different stuff, so my brain is just, I think my brain is fried at this point, because a lot of this has been a lot of prepping and planning and just trying to figure out how I'm going to execute these things, especially that they're not things I do too often. The main thing that I have a lot of experience with is sewing. So that I have no issue with. Like, I know what to do for that. But when it comes to beading, it's something I haven't really done before, except like, you know, jewelry, but like beading embroidery is not something I'm very much familiar with, so I've been watching tutorials and everything, looking up like how to get started with that, so we'll see how it goes. But I am gonna make these double-sided, like all of these bead embroidered keychains are gonna be double-sided. The only thing is these three here are gonna have to be flipped, so I'm gonna have to flip them, and I don't think I have to print them out again because I mean I can see it through the paper, so I don't think I gotta reprint. I'm just gonna flip them and draw them on the other paper so that they sandwich together when I sew them. But obviously with these types, I don't gotta worry about that. Like, this is fine. I don't have to do any mirroring or anything. Now with this paw print charm that I'm doing, my idea for it was I want to do the little toe beans with a little bit of a plush to it, kind of having them, what's the word I'm looking for, like raised. So I'm thinking maybe we can put like felt. So I'll cut little pieces of felt and I'll put it in the area where the toe beans are, and then I'll embroider over that so that they're raised compared to the cat paw itself. So hopefully that'll work out. Okay, cat paw is done. Now we just need to do Snoopy and the letter ones. So let's do Snoopy. I'm not gonna lie, Snoopy has a lot of curves going on, but I still don't think it's gonna be as complicated as the bat one. All right, little Snoopy is done. Now we just gotta do the letters and that's it. I was having a problem with the G for some reason, because maybe it's the font I chose when I was printing it out or whatever, but I'm gonna leave this. I'm not gonna cut this part out. I'm gonna keep it like that when I do the beading. Honestly, I don't even think I need to cut this out. Yeah, because I'm not gonna... This is all gonna be beaded within the inside, so we're not even gonna touch this. I think this is fine. We'll just do this one and that'll be it. All right, I finished cutting everything out. Now I'm just gonna figure out which one I want to do first. I think I do want to do the daisy first. So we're gonna start getting the beads and everything out and start working on it. Here I finished tracing the template on both fabrics, so they're ready to cut. I did end up cutting out the middle part for the daisy, so I'm gonna trace this part for the middle area. Alright, the felt fabric is in the embroidery hoop and we got the nice drum sound. I will say though that this was very much a little difficult to put this in because this felt specifically is very thick, but we still got it, so let's start beading. I don't have any special embroidery needles for this, so I'm just gonna use these general use needles in size 9. I'm hoping this will work. We shall see, because this is the tiniest needles that I have, and I'm going to be doing the beading with this all-purpose thread here. I think, yeah, it's 100% polyester, this one. So this is what I'm going to be using to bead. I have some beeswax also for going through with the thread and needle, just to make sure nothing is being difficult, basically. And I got my beads, so we got everything we need now. I'm not gonna lie, I did prick myself a few times with the needle because I was working with white thread, white fabric, and then the pearls are white, so I pricked myself a few times, but it still came out cute. Like, I really like how the outline came out, and honestly, from what I've seen after looking at videos and doing it myself, is the main thing is you have to make sure, like, you're beading, like, you're going with the thread back and forth between the beads to make sure everything is secure. And I think after that, it was pretty much smooth sailing from there. Okay, here is the finished border. So I'm gonna check back in with you guys when I have done, like, basically halfway with this charm. I'm gonna be using these beads. It's kind of hard to focus. Let me see. Oh my god, hold on. Okay, these are the beads that I'm going to be using for the inside, so I will check back in when I'm halfway through. Okay, here is the progress. I just still have to do the yellow part. I do like that it has like a pebble texture, but the only thing I don't like about these beads is they're not cut uniform like the cuts are not consistent. but I think it still came out nice. So I'm just gonna start finishing this keychain up. Here is how the design came out after I finished beading it. I glued some felt and then I did a blanket stitch all around. So the design is done. I was gonna do this double-sided, but the yellow and white opaque beads have weight to them and this is already feeling heavy. So I thought it would be best that I'm gonna use this yellow fabric and just have that as the backing for the keychain instead. So I'm just gonna go ahead, add the ribbon, add the back, and this should be all done. After I was finished with the daisy keychain, I went ahead and started working on this little Snoopy keychain. This one is actually for a family member who loves Snoopy very much. So I decided to make them a cute little keychain. Now, I like how he came out much better, honestly, because the beads that I had for this one were actually more uniform and the cuts were even. So I personally think he came out much neater and I was really happy with how he looked, especially trying to do a more detailed piece. He just looks so cute. Like I'm genuinely really happy with how he came out. But just like the daisy one, I also did not make him double-sided. Again, the whole reasoning of it being heavy. So I made him one-sided, and same thing, I put a different fabric on the back, and that's how I basically did this keychain. Okay, our little Snoopy outline is done. I think he's already looking so cute. I'm gonna be using these crystal clear beads. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna be using these like crystal clear beads for the rest of his body and some red beads for the collar. And then we can start putting this together. I thought I had more footage of me finishing up this keychain, but sadly I did not. I just have mainly me doing the clear beads onto it, but I will post a picture of the finished keychain up on the screens in a little bit so you guys can see how he came out. But I really think the clear crystals was just perfect against the white fabric that I used for it. Now that I went ahead and finished all the keychains, I'm going to be making some cinnamon roll coasters, and I finished cutting everything out already. This was a little bit of a pain cutting out the little swirls, but they look good, so we're gonna go ahead and start sewing these. For the cinnamon bun slash cinnamon roll coasters, I basically just did a back stitch all around, and then I went ahead and sewed on the swirls on top and did the same type of stitch. I found this very tedious but also therapeutic at the same time because I was just focused on doing circles, and I think it really helped me make sure my stitches were neat. And I try really hard when I am doing hand sewing, I'm making sure my stitches were neat. And I feel like they came out really good. Like, it's pretty uniform. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but I think they came out pretty good for doing this. I will say though, after doing 4 of them back to back, I was very tired. It was a lot, but I really like how they came out. I'm making 2 felt wallets this year, and I took all of yesterday to cut these up. I'm not gonna lie, my hands hurt because of all these tiny pieces, and then the felt is super thick for these. This one is going to be a alligator with some lily pads and daisies, and then this one, you can't really tell right now, but it's going to be Alice Madness Return theme. And these are the pieces basically for the wallets. So it's these 3 pieces right here. So this is going to be like the pocket. This is going to be the inside. And then for this example, this is going to be the part where you see out of the wallet, the outside. The outside of the design of the wallet. That's what I was trying to say. The design of the wallet. I went ahead and started gluing down the smaller pieces that I plan to sew and do details on, but in hindsight, honestly, I think it would have been better for me to actually sew the details that I wanted to do first and then glue them on, because when I was doing the details, especially for the Alice wallet, I was kind of having to like really push the fabric through because the glue was in the way. So next time when I am making something like this that has details that I plan on like sewing slash like embroidery, I'm not going to glue them yet. I'll just do that afterwards. After I was done sewing, I went ahead and got some acrylic paint and started putting some fake blood splatter to resemble Alice's apron. And here are the finished wallets. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today while I kind of slowly lost my mind making these. But I hope you all stay safe and I will see you next time.